Did you identify any? I seem not to see any hand up.
Let's humble ourselves and we pray. Loving Father, I want to thank you for this day. Thank you for the gift of life and salvation. Oh God, as we're going for this math lesson, we pray that we'll understand everything and that we shall have good connection. In Jesus' name I've prayed. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Faith. Good morning once again.
Morning.
Yeah, I want to welcome you to today's lesson. We seem to have ended the topic of series and the sequence and patterns. So today we are going to start on topic 7, which is on bearing, and bearing is not a new term as far as I know. So it's a short topic and I expect us to finish it by next week on Tuesday. So I don't know if teacher Jennifer is getting me. Jennifer?
Hello. Yes.
Teacher Jennifer?
Yes, I can hear you. Good morning,
Okay,
everyone.
over to you.
Yes, good morning. I hope I'm loud and clear.
Yes, please.
We are beginning on topic 7, which is bearings. It is not a new term. We've had it from our primary. We had bearings, but then we need to remind ourselves what we mean by bearings. I know there is a section after this one which talks about the details of bearings, the definitions, but then we also need to know the meaning because it is a new term. So we need to know, what does this term mean? When you talk about bearings, what do they mean? Maybe one of the girls can help us. What we mean by bearing. I know it's not a new term. Hello? Anyone with an idea about bearings?
Let's wait for the girls to put up their hands. I don't see any so far.
Hello, but are they hearing us?
Yes, very well. Maybe if the definition is hard, or they can just explain what they understand by bearing, and then we harmonize.
Okay.
Yes, we have Sandra. Sandra, please go on.
To me, bearing is the angle in degrees measured clockwise from north.
Yes, angle in degrees measured
Is
from
clockwise from north.
From north.
Yes. Excuse me, teacher.
Okay. Yes.
I know. Teacher.
Yes.
I know we finished topic 6, but I got a method on how to find another method on how to find the nth term of a sequence. Can I share it at the end of the lesson?
Okay, I think that will come in at the end.
Okay, thank you.
So that is her view, but bearings actually, they give direction of points. They give direction of points with reference to another point. For example, you may be somewhere or you are moving. In the old days, sailors used to have problems when they were sailing. They could find it hard to get their exact location, but in bearings, you may get the exact location of someone. So the bearing, when we say the bearing of a point is given by the angle turned from another given point, just like you said, it doesn't necessarily mean that you can move clockwise. There is also movement in the anti-clockwise direction, as we shall see later. So we have this diagram, which is showing us something. We have the diagram showing the bearing of Kavale from where this lady is standing. Now we can see that there is a lady standing here. We have these districts. We have Gulu, we have Busia, we have Kasese, and then this lady is turning from the north. The lady, we have this angle turning in this angle. So I hope we can see this diagram clearly. And when we look at this diagram, you'll find that there are some keywords that we need to know as per our book. There is what we call the angle, there is direction, then we have what we call bearing, scale, and then the turn. So when you look at this person, the diagram is showing the bearing of Kavale from where this lady is standing. So when we move on, we need to know these terms that they are giving us, and they are telling us that by the end of this topic, there are some things that you must know. I know we said it is not a new topic, but then you need to, one, to review the campus. I believe we can draw the campus. So we need to review that campus. We need to describe the direction of a place from a given point using cardinal points. Now, cardinal points, it may look a new term, but these are the main points of the campus. So this term, cardinal points, it means the main points of the campus, such as the north, south, east, west, as we shall see from the campus. So those are the cardinal points. So we should be able to describe the direction of a place from a given point using those cardinal points. Then you should also be able to describe the bearing of a place from a given point. So these are the objectives that you need to know. You should be able to draw suitable sketches from the given information. You'll be given information and you'll be able to draw those sketches. Then you should also be able to choose and use appropriate scale to draw an accurate diagram. So we shall see that when we get there. You should also be able to differentiate between a sketch and a scale diagram. So what we mean by a sketch and then the scale diagram, how does it look like? We should also be able to apply bearings in real life situations. Just know that everything in mathematics has got an application. So just like we have applications of other, topics, even this bearing has applications in real life situations. Kahuga Charity has raised her hand. I don't know whether she has a question.
Okay, let her go on, and I'll do for her as well. But let's hear from Charity first.
Yes, Charity, can you ask your question, please? Charity? Charity, unmute and ask. Okay, if Charity can't ask, can we hear from our default? Our default, unmute and ask. Our default, can you ask?
Something.
Yes.
is bearing the angular distance between two places?
Is what?
Sorry?
Is it the angular distance between two places?
Yes, please.
That-
Our default, it is the angle you make between two distances with reference to the north. Did you see the north?
Yes,
Did you see this compass here? That
yes.
there is always the reference, which is the north. So we measure that angle from the north to that point.
Okay, thank you.
Does it make sense?
Yes.
So
Okay.
can we move on?
Yeah, I guess we can move on. It seems Charity didn't get through.
Maybe her question will come in later. We'll move on to the introduction of this topic.
Okay.
Yes, we've seen the objectives, but in this
Jennifer,
topic,
before you move on, I see two more hands. Okay,
Okay.
Charity, can you ask Charity? Can you
Charity.
unmute your microphone and ask? Charity? What about Atwenda?
Teacher, your
Yes,
volume
Atwenda, can you ask?
is low.
Yes,
The volume is somehow low. I can't hear properly.
Oh,
the volume
okay.
is low, you can't hear properly. Well, Jennifer will try to
Okay, let me try to project it.
project her voice, and then you should as well check your gadget if your volume is low. It could be on your end. Can you try to as well check your gadget?
Okay, so we have this introduction of the topic, and we are saying that in this topic, you will learn how to tell the bearing of a point from a given point. So we shall be given some tasks, and we shall be able to get the bearings of different places, as we shall see. Now we have the angles and then turns. Remember, we said there are some keywords. For example, angles now, and then we need to know what are turns. So you need to understand clearly what the terms such as turn, half turn, and the mean in terms of angles. So when we talk about a turn, we may talk about a turn is, let me give you an example. Let's say when you are opening a door, the door may move in a certain angle. So here we are saying that if it is one complete turn, so if you are moving ground, let's say you are standing like this person is standing, and this person is able to move round himself or herself, then there is what we call a complete turn, and that complete turn has 360 degrees. In other words, it is a circle. So if this person is making one complete turn, that person is moving round or is turning round. So we need also to refer to the compass points. So the points on a compass, we said we have the cardinal points, we have the main ones, we have the north, we have the south, we have the east, west. But in addition to these ones, we have other points, such as the northeast, we have the southeast, we have the southwest, northwest. In this book, they don't give us other, we have other smaller ones, but maybe we also need to know them, much as they are not written here. So here, the task I want us to do, we need to draw this compass. Of course, they have drawn it for us, but then we need to add in, we may add in these other, because there are other points in between. When you move from the north, to south, or when you move from the north to the east, I believe everyone can see these points. They are angles. We said if it is one complete turn, it means that someone has moved 360 degrees. So meaning that if you move from the north,
Teacher Jennifer.
then, yes,
Teacher
hello,
Jennifer.
hello.
Yes, maybe we can try to demonstrate it
Okay,
on Blackboard,
okay, okay.
so that it makes more sense to them.
Okay.
So I don't know if this will make much sense to them if we use that.
Thank you.
So this is this is south west. So Teacher Jennifer, you should tell me what to.
Yes. Okay. We need to know if someone is moving from the north.
Yes.
And moves round clockwise up to the north, that is one complete turn. Can we draw that?
Not sure I've got you.
Yes, if you move from the north clockwise, you can draw that. Yes, you move round, move round, move round. Yes, continue. Okay, so
that's
one complete turn, and it is equivalent to 360 degrees. So that is one complete turn.
Then okay. Within these major directions of north, east, south, and west, we have other angles, I'm sure, which people are familiar with. Between north and east, we can have an angle which we are calling northeast there. Okay. Then between south and east, we can have southeast there. Then between south and west, we can have southwest there. Then finally north west. Okay.
Move our hand here. Maybe we can see what number is saying.
Okay, let's can we hear from those ones who have raised their hands?
Number you can ask.
No, I forgot to put down my hands. I'm sorry. Let me put it down.
Can we hear from the people whose hands are up?
Shirabo, you can unmute.
Mine is not a question.
Martha, can you try to unmute the girls whose hands are up?
Sure. Mine is not a question. It was just, I wanted to mention the tertiary points of a campus.
Oh, okay. You still want to contribute, or this is fine with you now?
Sorry?
You still want to share with your friends?
Yes.
Okay.
Between north and northeast, there's northeast. Between northeast and east, there's east-northeast. Between east and
you are bringing in another element of angles here. Let me extrapolate them.
Yes, I was saying between north and northeast, there is northeast.
Between north and northeast, there's
northeast.
Northeast,
Between northeast and east, There's east, northeast.
Carl, can you go on?
Between northeast and east, there is east, northeast.
East, northeast. Go on.
Then between southeast and east, there is east, southeast.
East, southeast.
Then between
Continue.
between southeast and south, there is south, southeast.
South, southeast. Then
between south and southwest, there's south, southwest.
South, southwest.
Between southwest and west, there is west, southwest.
And then finally.
That one is west, northwest.
Oh, not finally.
Between west and northwest, there is west, northwest.
West, west. Then finally.
North, northwest.
Okay, thank you. I think that helps. I guess teacher Jennifer will tell us what these directions, what angles they make on this diagram. I can see more hands up.
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes, Charity.
The first time you chose me, I went off because of network. Then the second time you didn't unmute me. But I just wanted to talk about the first question that was asked, what we know about bearings. Okay, what for me I remember is that bearings should be written in 3 digits. Like if you get an angle which is 50 degrees, you add 0 at the front to make it 50 degrees so that they can be 3 digits. That's what I wanted to say.
Okay, thank you. I guess there are different forms of stating directions, and that is one of them. Thank you, Charity.
You're welcome.
Can we hear from Hope?
Excuse me, teacher, I have a question. What format is followed in order to make these semi-cardinal points? What format is followed? Do you use clockwise direction, anti-clockwise? What direction do we follow to make these semi-cardinal points, the north, northeast?
Mr. Kijam, I seem not to have got a question. I don't know if you've got it. Or any other teacher?
Yes, please. Yes, please. Mr. Theo?
Yes, my network is on and off.
Yes, she's asking
yes.
the angles made by those bearings that we have formulated, but because one needs to be interactive, mainly with the girls, I request someone to give us those angles before we harmonize.
Okay.
Teacher, I think the question was, how do you get the tertiary cardinal points? The north, northeast, the east, northeast, then the east, southwest, something like that, if I got her well.
Okay, yes, very well. But before we give or we harmonize, let's have some girls to explain that. We can have Bethro. Please unmute and proceed.
Joseph, I see so many hands up. Can you try to pick on them?
Bethro, go on.
Teacher, you're asking for the angles formed by these cardinal points.
Yes, but before the angles, how do we get those bearings before we go to angles?
Okay, so when you're getting something like north, northeast, since it's between north and northeast, you start with the major cardinal point, then go to the semi-cardinal point. So it will be north, northeast to get the tertiary point. And then even for the east, northeast, you start with the major cardinal point, which is east, then go to the semi-cardinal point.
Teacher Jennifer,
yes. Yes,
Sorry,
I'm sorry, I
yes,
had gone off.
network. Yeah,
Yes.
Mr. Rook, I should give you the co-host rights. I don't know if Mr. Rook is hearing.
I'm here.
Can go on. Eh?
Hello.
Yes, Mrs. Sam, you can go on.
Yes, I'm sorry, I had gone off. But I didn't get the girl's question. I don't know whether it has
Yeah,
been answered.
I guess Teacher Martha and Teacher Joseph
They've
tried
answered
to
them, eh?
support there.
Okay.
Yes.
Then have you talked about the angles in between?
No, we are trying to ask the girls to give us the angles, such
Okay.
that we bring them on board.
Hmm.
Someone, Beth had explained how we get the other bearings. Maybe someone should tell us how we find the angles.
Only 200.
Okay, I can have Martha Maria to say something.
Okay, teacher, how the angles are got, it's like, okay, from between north and east, that would be 90 degrees, which means that between north and northeast, that's 45 degrees. And between north and northeast, that would be 15 degrees. So I think that's how the angles are got. Those are the angles between the spaces.
Yes. Now we are looking at the turns. We've seen the 360 turn. So if someone is turning from north up to east, that one we call it. This person has moved quarter way, which means that that one is described as a quarter turn. So if someone is moving from the north up to east, that person has just moved the quarter of the whole compass. So we call that quarter turn, and that quarter turn has 90 degrees. So if you divide that 90 degrees, because this northeast is dividing this angle into two. When you see this northeast, which means that half of 90 is 45. So half of 90 is 45, 45 making 90. Then if you go ahead to divide this angle, when you go ahead to divide it, then you'll be able to get the angle, the smallest angle here, which is when you divide 40, yes, thank you. When you divide 45 by 2, that one will give us 22 and a half, which means that each of those angles in the 16 points of that compass has 22 and a half, or we could say 22.5 degrees. So when you move around that one, the total, when you add all of them, you get 360 degrees. You can as well get the 22.5 and you multiply it by 16, still you will get 360 degrees. So that's what we have for that compass. We need to know those points. We need to know how to draw, and then we need to know the turns. So we have seen the quarter turn. We have seen, so if someone is moving from north to south, that person has moved halfway, half of the journey. So that person has turned in what we call half turn, moving from north to south. That is half turn. Okay, thank you. Yes.
Jennifer, move on. Continue.
Yes, so we have this, there are 4 parts. So this first part has 90 degrees. The second part 90, 90, 90, making up 360 degrees. Thank you. And so half of this, half of 90, okay, that is now half turn. And
So
half
this-
turn, even that is 90, yes, giving us a total. So if someone has moved halfway, then this person has moved what we call in half turn. Yes, I hope we can move. I think we can move on, Mr. Theo.
As if there are some two hands here. I think we can take them before you.
Yes, Martha. I can see a hand from Cynthia. Hey, France.
I'm trying to correct what Charity said about you must add a 0. And I think you only add a 0 in true bearing, but in ordinary bearing you can. It isn't a must to add.
Yes.
Charity, you want to add on something?
Sure, I just wanted to ask, like, for example, on the campus that we had drawn, if a person has moved like from north to east northeast, like, is the angle 127.5 degrees? Like when a person has moved from north to east northeast, what angle has that person like moved?
Joseph, have you got a question?
I think I've got her. She's asking if someone moves from north to northeast.
North to northeast, eh?
Yes. Then
Okay. It is east northeast.
It is what?
East northeast. That's what I'm asking. East northeast.
East northeast. Okay. How many? Those are 3 segments. So when you move up to northeast, that's 45. When you get 45 plus 22.5, what do you get? Charity. When you get 45 plus 22.5, or 22.5 if you want, what do you get?
I'm getting 67.5.
What do you get?
67.5.
This is 67.5, eh?
Yes.
Or you can say 67.5, eh? If you want.
Yes.
I want you to note that each of these angles is equivalent to 22.5, eh?
Yeah.
You get it?
Yes.
Yeah, so you can always add up and you see what you're coming up with if it's confusing.
When I multiplied, I got something different. When I multiplied 22.5 times 3, I got 127.5 degrees. I got 127.5.
I think
What
we
did you
need to do it.
What did you get?
I got 127.
I thought this was. What do you get here? This is 45 out of 2.
Yes, then I multiplied 45 times 3, then I divided by 2.
So what do you get there?
45 times 3 is 135 divided by 2.
Which gives you what?
Oh, I divided wrongly. It is 67.5.
So you just need to get your mathematics where?
Yes.
Thank you. So I think, okay.
And I also wanted to thank Cynthia for correcting me.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, someone is asking which page the work is on in the prototype. Chapter 7 is on page 86. I hope that person has.
Okay, Jennifer,
So we
try
move on.
yes, let's try to move on. I think
Yes,
we are done with that campus.
so we move
Those
on
points.
to
And let's see if there are more
activity.
questions there. So we're having that.
Activity 7.1, we need to identify angles in relation to the compass direction. Of course, here they tell you to work in pairs, but then you are now doing it individually. So do the following times, and in each case, state the size of the angle you have turned it through. So you will do that activity. I hope someone has already done it. Part 1, turn from north to south clockwise, all anti-clockwise.
Okay, we have our default. Maybe she has the answer to that.
Teacher, I have a question. Okay, when writing angles, can you use decimal terms
That's
or
our
just
default.
use fractions? When writing, like let's say when you divide 42 by 2, can you write it as 22.5 degrees, or you have to write 22.5? Is it a math?
Either way is correct.
So 22. Okay, thank
Our default, are you clear?
Well, teacher, I think you have answered her.
Thank
you. Either way, you get the same.
Joseph.
Yes, please.
I don't know. My network is on and off. At times I don't hear what they're asking. But was teacher Jennifer asking them to attempt that activity?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so do we have people that would want to try out? Because at the
Yes.
moment we can't put them in pairs.
But is that ready, or we first attend to these few hands?
Yeah, I guess we might be having people would want to tell us what angle.
Let's hear from Mercy first.
I've attempted numero 1, turn from north to south clockwise or anti-clockwise. I've found it is 180 degrees.
Thank you. Thank you. You want to continue?
To numero 2 only. From northeast to southeast clockwise, I have found when it's 270 degrees.
Yes, when you turn from northeast to southeast, we are getting teacher field. Yes, so this is clockwise and this is anti-clockwise. So when you move in this opposite direction to this, so this is clockwise and that is anti-clockwise. So you get 180 degrees, right? Yes, move on. I think we give chance to someone to attempt Roman 2.
Okay, we can have Lukia. Please unmute and proceed.
Teacher, for number 2, I think it's number 2. Jenny, I had a question actually. Are we supposed to write it in books?
There is an exercise. This one you can practice, but then write the exercise in your books. But it's better for revision purposes.
Teacher Jennifer, I guess we need.
Then,
Teacher Jennifer.
for women.
Yes, I guess we need to make it clear to the girls that they are supposed to make their own notes. So whatever we're helping you understand that work in your runner's guide. After you're supposed to sit down and you write your work.
Exactly.
Doing all the exercises that in the runner's guide. So don't wait for the teacher to remind you that you're supposed to write notes. Remember, your curriculum requires you to do personal notes. So please, let's try to be more responsible.
Teacher, then for Roman number 2, it's 90 degrees.
So Roman number 2?
It's 90.
90 degrees. So when you turn from northeast, teacher Field, can we have our direction? Yes. So
Joseph,
from northeast.
You try to monitor what the girls are sending in the chat, as I try
Yes,
to
please. Yes, please. Very well.
Okay.
So this is northeast. And then we have southeast. So you need to add those angles. You need to know, yes, that is east, that is southeast. So when you add between northeast and east, we have 45 degrees. Yes. So when you add, you'll be able to get those angles. Okay, so from northeast to southeast, we have 45 degrees plus 45 degrees. So we shall get 90 degrees. So that is right. Now we move on to part 3. I saw so many hands up. Part 3. When you turn clockwise from northeast to east.
And let's have
It's 45 degrees.
Okay, that's 45 degrees. So northeast to east. All right.
Okay, Jennifer, can we move on?
Yes, we can move on. That's 45 degrees. So we've seen those turns. So if you are moving, you are turning from one point to another. You keep turning and you need to know the sizes of those angles. We have examples following the same. So I think we can compare from those given examples from what we've been doing, and then in that example, you can compare your answers to see whether you are able to get in that first example. They want you to give the angle you turn through from northeast to northwest and clockwise. They have given us the solutions, but then you need to check and see whether that is what you get. There is what we call 3/4 turn. 3/4 turn, that one means that you've moved the 3/4. So the screen has gone off.
Okay, I think Mr. Theo is off, but he'll be back.
Yes.
Maybe, Teacher Jennifer, before we proceed, let's first answer a few questions. Someone in the chat was asking, what is clockwise direction and then clockwise direction. So simply they should consider clockwise direction
someone
as
unmute? Can you mute? Someone, I think admin can mute those people. Wait.
okay. Maybe Teacher Jennifer.
Yes.
As other colleagues are working on to that, I was saying that someone was asking what is the difference between clockwise and then anti-clockwise direction. And they could simply note that the direction taken by the arms of the clock will be clockwise direction.
Yes.
And then the opposite direction will be anti-clockwise.
That's fine.
The same as that. Thank you.
I hope that person has been answered. Any other question?
Yes, we have Marjorie, maybe let's hear from her.
No, teacher, I just wanted to give the answer on the numerator.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay, let me put down my phone.
Okay, maybe Bethel.
Teacher, when giving the answers for the angles you've turned in, can't there be like two options? Like if you turn from north to south, 180 degrees, can't you be like north, 180 degrees south?
Okay, now there is what we call compass bearings and then the true north bearings. So in this book, they don't talk about those two, but then you just need to know that for compass bearings, that's when you may have, for example, north 50 degrees east. But then that is for compass bearings. But then for the true north bearings, that's where you write the 3 digits. But here the book doesn't talk about it.
We're using only true north bearings.
So for them, they just talk about those angles, the 90 degrees, the 270, the 45, and so on.
Okay.
So let's move on because time is not on our side. Teacher Martha, you have something to say? Teacher Martha?
Yes.
Do you have something? Yes.
I think it's okay, we can move on.
Yes. Now, dear girls, you have an exercise ahead of you. So you can do this exercise in the remaining time. I know the numbers are many, but not quite many. You can just try to answer these questions. Maybe if there are people with questions, we may answer those questions. Otherwise, there is an exercise where we need to, there are 3 numbers, but we can look at that exercise.
That is on page 88. Eh?
Yes, page 88.
Continuing to page 89. Eh?
Yes.
But before Teacher Jennifer, I think we should sample a few girls to give us some few answers.
Yes. For example, question 1.
Yeah, we can have like 3 of them to give us a few, then we proceed.
Yes.
Teacher, you help me choose.
Okay, let's have Gloria Mira.
For part C. That is question 1.
Let's have to history.
Hello.
I'm sorry, I left my hand up by mistake.
Okay, let's have the unmute.
For number 1, part A is 90 degrees.
So when you move from north to east, that's 90 degrees. That's good. Someone to do part B.
Let's have Deborah. Okay.
When you move from west to northwest, you have 45 degrees.
Yes, we have 45 degrees.
Let's have a zero.
There is sound in the background. I don't know why those people are not muted. Okay, I think now. Joseph? Joseph?
Yes, please.
I think they can continue with the exercise.
Oh,
In
okay.
the interest of time.
Hope they have gotten a picture, but we still have a chance. Maybe we attend to them.
Let's choose those people putting up their hands. What are they saying? Are they giving answers?
Okay. We can have Gloria Miro unmute and proceed. Gloria.
So the answer for one part D is 315 degrees.
Sorry?
The answer for one part D is 315 degrees.
Yes, how do you get that?
Pardon?
How do you get that?
Because the question was, what angle do you turn to if you turn clockwise from northeast to north? So you draw the compass direction, so like all of the cardinal points and semi-cardinal points. So from northeast to north, you get 315 degrees because you add 45 degrees plus 45 degrees plus 45 degrees plus 45 degrees plus, okay, add 45 degrees 7 times.
Okay. She's getting lost. I can't hear clearly, but it is the 360. You could subtract 45 degrees to get that answer. Hello?
Okay. Teacher Jennifer, I have only six minutes.
So let's hear from other participants whose hands are up.
I think her method was correct. You should give her a green light about it. Realize that she said you get 45 times 7. I think it's also okay to do that.
Yes, it's fine.
Yes.
Maybe to supplement that, the girls should as well note that because the complete turn is making 360 degrees, okay? When they ask for a quarter turn, you just need to get a quarter times 360. That will give you the angle. If they talk about a half, you get a half turn, you get a half times 360, you get 180. And if they ask you for 3/4 turn, you get 3/4 and then times 360. You get that angle as well as 270.
I hope that's fine.
I think someone was trying to share, but anyway, let me share again.
Okay.
Okay, but in the last few minutes, maybe because we have done a number for part of question 1, let's look at a few in question 2. Very first, let's have someone to give us say the answer for part A.
Let's have Chiraboho unmute.
Question 2 says 180 degrees clockwise from northeast. 180 degrees clockwise is southwest.
Yes, 180
degrees.
180 degrees clockwise
from northwest.
From north east.
West. East, yes, east. Southwest.
So where will you be facing?
I'll be facing northeast.
Really? Joseph, thank you. Just here the back. So you can help us to draw that. Yes.
Teacher Theo?
Yeah, Theo, I think okay, I think what teacher is trying to tell us, he has drawn for us this campus. So this is the northeast. And we're turning 180 degrees. So when you turn 180 degrees, I believe this is southwest. Hope everyone can see that this is southwest. So where will you be facing? That was the question, which means that 180 degrees clockwise from northeast will be facing in this direction of southwest. I think teacher is not clear, but we can move on to the second part. Joseph, can you pick, I don't know how many minutes we now have. Okay.
We have only a minute.
We have a minute. Yes. Can you pick? Yes.
But Mr. Theo, I don't know whether he can unshare such that we look at the questions. But if the girls have the work already, we can have someone to answer question 2, part F. It says, in what direction will you be facing if you turn 135 anti-clockwise from north?
Let's have Juwenji.
Teacher, for me, I have a question.
Yes, ask.
I didn't understand part C of number 1.
Okay, part C of number 1 is saying, what angle do you turn through if you turn clockwise from southeast to northwest?
Southeast.
Teacher Theo, first demonstrate for us. Maybe in a minute, we conclude with this. We are turning clockwise from southeast to northwest. Southeast. Clockwise from southeast to northwest. Okay, very good. Now, because each division you see there is representing 45 degrees, you can as well just count the divisions from southeast to northeast, sorry, to northwest. And those will be 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you have 4 times 45, that will give you the answers. The answer will be, someone to give us the answer for that. Our default.
Maybe we can hear from Chiravo Par. Chiravo Par. They can.
Okay, maybe our network is poor. You can have Virungi Anita as you conclude this.
180.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. So because you already passed time by 2 minutes, I request the girls to try out that exercise. It is stretching from page 88 to 89. And if we come back, that will be on Tuesday, we shall look at some concerns before we head to subtopic 7.2. Thank you, colleagues, and thank you girls for coming.